Woodstock in Cape Town, the home of some of the finest breweries, also the home of some amazing restaurants, and the stomping grounds of top SA journo Gasant Abarder. Woodstock Cars have given me a Range Rover. Let's hop inside and find out more about this top journo and his life growing up in Woodstock. So in the car, Gasant Abarder, it's so lekker spending some time with you, bud. And we're in Woodstock. I mentioned when we started that this is the home of not only some amazing breweries and fine restaurants, but this is also where you grew up.
It is. So, yeah, from 10 years old, well, actually, when I was born, we stayed in Woodstock until I was 3.
Okay.
My parents are from neighbouring Salt River, so I kind of straddle the two neighbourhoods, and both are very special to me for different reasons.
Yes.
And then we moved to Mitchell's Plain for a little while, and when I was 10 we moved back here. My dad managed to buy a house here for 38,000 rand. Can you believe it? I would buy 10 these days.
And what was life like? I mean, now we know Woodstock to be a whole lot of things to Cape Townians, but growing up here, what was life like in Woodstock?
Look, it certainly is not, or was not, the kind of hipster paradise we see now.
Sure.
What I liked about Woodstock was the street smarts that I learned here.
Yes.
And that prepares you very well for life as a journalist. You can anticipate things.
Yeah.
You know what the next step is going to be.
Yeah.
And you know, if I grew up in a sheltered existence, it might not have served me that well. So you can see a lot of the people, while we are in a very urban part of Cape Town,
Sure.
it's still very much Cape Flats. The
Yes.
people who live here.
Yeah.
It's rather than it being geographically Cape Town Flats, it's the culture here, it's the people who live here. And I'm going to show you the street I grew up in, Essex Street.
And Essex Street is an iconic street, not only in Woodstock, but in Cape Town. And there's much changed when you look at it now.
It has. For one, they've got a balcony. So my brothers, who are older than me, used to climb up the balcony here by number 36. And they used to come home late from the nightclubs and sneak in because the stairs used to creak. But then my parents were obviously wise to all of those tricks. So I was the youngest, so I had a less of a inspired youth, you know.
And then, okay, so listen, before we get onto schooling and then obviously your journey through to where you are now, the car we're in, I mean, this is such a lekker car for curb crawling or for kind of a, it's a nice looking car, but it comes with a diesel V8 engine, and it's a perfect family car. You're a family man.
You'll get 4 kids.
All of them will get in here. You'll get kids and more, and all the goodies and luggage, etc., and comfortable.
Yeah. So when you asked me for this interview and what is my preference, anything in the Land Rover family, because when I was in my 20s I had a Defender, seriously used Defender, short wheelbase, but it was so lekker. It had a 2.8 petrol BMW
engine. Correct.
And I used to dice guys robot to robot with this thing and let them pull away in their little VTECs. I still caught them.
Yeah. And it's such a great torquey engine. It was a 2.8 litre diesel engine that flew.
No, it did. And what I loved about it was I was very naughty. I used to drive over traffic circles instead of around because I could. Favorite moment? Towing a Jeep Wrangler.
No ways.
Yeah.
That's classic.
So I always kind of promised myself I want to graduate to something like this.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
life, kids, come on, this,
school
fees, there's other priorities on one's list, and
but it is a stunning vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cruising here, and I deliberately chose the area where I grew up because I knew we'd be blooming and people would be
absolutely looking and checking who's that driving.
This is a bloom car.
Exactly.
This isn't a highway car, So this is quite tricky now, Ryan, because we are navigating the streets of Woodstock and Salt River.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the area, you won't know that a lot of the streets are one-way ups or one-way downs.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about the route now, and I want to show you something really special.
Nice.
Of a special citizen.
Yes, well, because that's what I was going to talk about. I mean, growing up, there are people, very special people that come from this area.
Yeah.
Very special South Africans. Tell us about this special individual.
Okay, so we went to the same primary and high schools, and this person is one of FIFA's ambassadors, Laureus Sports Ambassador, and she's none other than Desiree Ellis. Grew up in the streets of Salt River, Went to Dryden Street Primary, Salt River High. She played all over the world. Probably the most capped women's player for South Africa.
Yep.
And we know she's just moving mountains with the
She's currently
Banyana squad. Yeah.
incredible work she's doing now.
And here's the Desiree Ellis
She's the mural. Look at this.
She wasn't here on the day it was launched,
Oh, that is superb.
but her mom was here. How special is that? And
Wow.
this is something I want to take down the window here. I mean, this is how the Salt River community celebrates Desiree Ellis. You know?
This is incredible.
Sure. But what I love about this car, and I've also got a diesel 2.2 automatic.
Yes.
But it gives you a feeling like you are in
Oh,
an SUV.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
luxury.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just cruising, you know.
So nice.
I can picture myself driving alone, listening to Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
It's my music of choice in the car
Yeah.
because they swear, and I can't have the kids in the
Kids
car.
in the car all the time listening to that.
And I wouldn't mind the kids in the back saying, "You're touching my
No,
elbow." Like, get away from me. Because up here, it's such luxury. You know?
Yeah.
And I haven't even put this thing through its paces.
No.
yet, you know?
So this was the
Dryden
school.
Street Primary School. We both, Desiree and I, attended. And there was a teacher here, Mr. Hartley, who was my English teacher.
Right.
And he was the one who introduced us to Shakespeare, but also reading.
Yes.
So as a result, when I got to high school at Salt River High, my focus was mostly on reading and English
Yes.
and writing.
Yeah.
And I didn't pay too much attention to maths.
Got you.
So the reason I'm a journalist is because I can't add or count. But
I have the same problem. I can tell out of a story, I just
Exactly.
can't count.
Salt River High here. This is my primary school.
And it's all within walking distance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all so nice. And every single part of the streets tell different stories,
So
different
this
neighbors.
is Rochester Road,
Right.
where my parents, my dad grew up.
Okay.
His mother, my grandmother lived here. And in grade 1 sub A, if it was raining, she'd tell us, no, don't go to school, get into bed, here's a cigarette for each of you. 6 years old,
cigarette?
she'd light a cigarette for me, and you'd stay at home because it was raining.
No ways.
But the cool thing about this is that you really got a feeling that you lived your life.
Yeah.
And these kind of
Yeah.
stores, you know,
Yes,
you had
yeah.
Bashoes and Double O.
Yep.
You had to stay in the store to drink your cool drink.
Yes, otherwise
you
you're
don't
gonna
get
correct
you
your
don't get
deposit.
change.
Yeah. You go through these neighborhoods, listening to these stories about you growing up here and looking at it now and seeing there's a whole new generation of kids that are going to school here. Is this where we
My
are?
grandmother's house. This one, yeah.
And I mean, this is prime property now.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at this property now. You battle to find property here.
You know, back in the day, in '88, my dad needed a permit to move to Woodstock because it was still classified a white area.
Yeah.
Even though most of the residents there looked like me, you know.
Do you think that those stories are being told enough about what happened in those days growing up here?
Look, I don't think they're being told enough. I think a lot more can be done.
Yes.
But I think we are starting to see people
yeah.
telling these stories.
Yes.
It's important to tell these stories for
Absolutely.
people to know what's going on. I'm not resistant to change. I think all the development here
Yeah.
is good for the economy. I would like to see people who grew up here
Yes.
not leave, but
Yeah.
actually anchor themselves and be part of the
Yes.
community and
Yeah.
part of the economy. There's one guy, for example, that I'm very fond of. When his parents bought this business, my parents were buying their meat from him.
Yeah.
40 years later, he now owns the family business that his father started.
No
and we
ways.
buy our meat from him. His name is Riaz Ahmed. He's the owner of Good Hope Meat.
Yes,
Hospital.
good. We're an
Amazing guy.
institution.
The amazing guy. You'd know him from Twitter.
Yeah.
Big Liverpool fan. I think that's his only flaw. Your and his only flaw.
Stop it.
And he's one of the few guys who's resisted selling up
Yeah.
and moving up.
Yeah.
That's
brilliant.
He's offered like obscene amounts of money.
Not
all
interested.
the time. And it's right here on the circle.
Yeah.
As you can see, Good Hope Meat Hyper.
Jeez, I mean, that is an institution.
So his father was actually, that was the original building over there. It says Reject King.
I came there to go get soccer kit many moons ago.
Yeah. And they've since extended. They now have an online business. But he's very involved in the community.
Yeah, very.
He won't sell up and move.
No, no chance.
Now I can drive this car.
No, gooi bro.
Oh, it's got lekker.
He's lekker.
I can feel. I haven't even punched it yet.
I know.
Woo! One day when I'm big.
Oh, what a car.
Amazing.
What a car, what a guest. Ladies and gents, Gasant Abarder, funny so trofee, love it. It was so lekker spending some time with you. And what a beast this is. Equally at home on the streets of Salt River and
awesome.
Woodstock.
It's definitely on Santa's wish list. Whether I'm going to get it for Christmas, we'll see.
Ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the latest and greatest in car content coming your way, courtesy of Car Magazine.